Hey everybody, it's Armin. Today we're going to go out to get this blue car over here dynoed. Our friend Malik out in Tennessee sent this to us now 3 times to get various work done to it. And this last time he decided he wanted us to upgrade a bunch of more stuff. So we put an LSD into it, we got all the hot side stuff ceramic coated, fixed a bunch of other things, added a boost controller, cranked it up. And I'll post a mod list in the list below. We also have this silver NC here that has almost the exact same build, but we won't be getting that dyno today as it's still waiting on some stuff to come back from powder coating. Meanwhile, let's at least just take a peek over it. Now the priority of this car was for function, not for vanity, so it may not be the prettiest. We have our DW fuel pressure regulator over here. That's part of my fuel system that I offer on our website. It's the radium fuel rail, and it converts the system to return, so it does reuse the stock fuel line to return back to the tank. We just installed a ceramic valve cover. Ooh, it's still hot from earlier. Then we plumbed a 10 AN back to here. When he's ready, we can do a catch can pretty easily with this. It has my coolant upgrade lines, so these are 6 AN and they are wrapped in fire sleeve. We've done as much heat protection as we can around everything, including the alternator down there. And we also have installed, well, it's not visible, but on both of these cars, like I said, pretty much same build. It has the gigantic Mishimoto aluminum oil cooler that runs all the way across the front end. And it is using a MadFabWorks oil perch that allows us to have a temperature and pressure sensor via the Rotarytronics gauge that's in the center here. And then we're also running the Innovate gauge for fail-safe boost control. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm wearing sunglasses. I can't see this. This is invisible in sunglasses. So it has oil pressure, coolant temperature from OBD, and then oil temperature. So the pressure of the oil and temperature are coming off of the MadFabWorks perch. Pretty awesome. Let's go get this thing on the dyno. We did pulls in 3rd, 4th, and 5th just for grins because we were getting some weird numbers. Check this out. Pull in 4th is in yellow. That's the PSI we were hitting, so somewhere in the 9-ish region. Then we did a pull in 3rd, which is the green. We did a pull in 5th, which gave us the white. And then we did another pull in 4th, which gave us purple. No settings were changed on the car at all. Those are the AFR values we're getting. And these are our dyno graphs. Some really weird results we're getting, but we got up to 235 horsepower, but all the pulls in 4th gear were getting us about 210, which is very curious. Great, so we're back here at the shop now, and PowerFab was kind enough to send over dyno graphs for all 4 of our pulls today. We did a pull in 4th gear, a pull in 3rd gear, 5th gear, and then another one in 4th gear. So let's have a look at these graphs. So what we're looking at here, we have our torque value, we have our horsepower value, and then down here we have our boost value as well as a measured at the tailpipe AFR value. What I'd like to point out first is the discrepancies of our boost values. Our first pull is this one right here. Notice how low that line is. That line looks like it's making somewhere about maybe 9-ish PSI. And it's pretty smooth, but it's 9 the whole way across. That doesn't really track because all of our data logs per what was on the computer show us making somewhere between 11 and 13 for just about all our pulls. Then we did a pull in 3rd gear, and look at that. The boost skyrockets up. It hits peak boost at about a little shy of 5,000 RPM, and it looks like it's hitting close to 13-ish PSI, which is expectable. Then we go over to this one, and this is the 5th gear pull. The 5th gear pull, it waits a really long time and then it spikes up here at the end at about 5,600 RPM,
and it's showing shy, maybe 12.5-ish PSI. Then we go back and we do another pull, again in 4th gear, and this one spikes up at about 4,300 RPM to 14 PSI. This is the same car back-to-back runs, so we did these runs all within about a 10-minute period. Now let's also look at the horsepower values. The horsepower values here are extremely disappointing, but also I believe they're deceptive, because if you go drive the car, you will absolutely disagree with the horsepower values we see here. The car doesn't drive like a 200 or even 230 horsepower car. It drives very well like a 300 plus horsepower Miata. And I say this with experience of driving 300 plus horsepower Miatas, so that's why I want to go over this. Check out the dyno graphs here. We're showing that on our first pull with the low boost value showed that we made 210 horsepower. And then on this pull, it shows that we made 235 horsepower. Then it shows we made 231 horsepower. But then we go back to this one, and our pull that had the most boost shows that we made a mere 208 horsepower, which is the lowest value. So all of this is to say that we know by seeing the data and driving the car that something is wrong here. I can tell you that the data logs I have from ECU Tech don't match these values at all as far as boost response and driving the car as well. The boost doesn't lag to come in, and it's very consistent, and the car is very responsive. As well as, like I said, it pulls really, really hard. So that tells me right away it's definitely not a 220 horsepower build, nor 235. But also, seeing these back to back, seeing them be this far apart indicates that we have a problem. So I don't know what the customer's going to want to do at this point, because we did speak to them and they said, hey, if you say that the values are to be thrown out, then hey, let's not worry about them. If the car drives phenomenally, I'll take the car. But if before the customer can come pick the car up, that I can take it to another dyno for a second opinion, then I'd like to. All this is to say that remember that not all dynos are going to read this exactly the same. Not every car is going to read exactly the same. And also, there's a chance that the dyno could be off. This definitely gives me the feeling that the dyno is off, and that's why I'd like to go over this. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and keep an eye out for future videos.